All right, let's talk about something that, if you spent any time at all in a major South African city, you have definitely seen. They've got their own uniforms, their own cars, and a whole different mission. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into South Africa's metropolitan police departments, the Metro Cops, to figure out who they are and, what they actually do.
So picture this. You see them at a traffic stop, or maybe managing the crowds at a big soccer match, or dealing with some local issue on a city street. They're obviously law enforcement, but they're not wearing that familiar blue of the South African Police Service, the SAPS. So who are these guys? What's their job? And where do they fit into the whole public safety picture?
Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it. Let's define exactly what a Metro Police Department is and what it was really set up to do.
And there you have it. The key words here, the ones you really got to focus on, are municipally controlled and specific metropolitan area. See, unlike the national police, their power and their focus is super local. It's designed to serve the very unique needs of one single city. They report to their city government, not the national government.
And you should know, this isn't just some casual arrangement. Oh no. The existence and the powers of the Metro Police are formally spelled out in national law. This act basically carved out a specific space for them to operate, giving cities the green light to create their own dedicated police forces.
This little chart, it lays out the differences perfectly. SAPS has a national job. They investigate serious crimes everywhere, from the biggest city to the tiniest rural town. But Metro Police, their world is the municipality. Their main job isn't investigating murders, it's handling the day-to-day stuff of city life. Traffic, enforcing local rules, bylaws, and just visible crime prevention. And look where they report, right up to the city's MMC for public safety. It keeps the accountability totally local.
So if you could be a fly on the wall and follow a Metro police officer around for a day, these are the three pillars of their work. You'd see them managing busy intersections, responding to car accidents, dealing with complaints about illegal trading or a neighbor's ridiculously loud party, and just being a visible presence in neighborhoods to scare off opportunistic criminals.
Okay, now that we know what they do, let's take a quick road trip across the country to see where these departments are and what makes each one a little bit different.
This whole model really just exploded in the early 2000s. Durban got the ball rolling. They were the pioneers, setting up the very first Metro Police Department way back in 2000. And once other cities saw the potential, bam, the country's other big economic hubs, Joburg, Cape Town, Tshwane, and Ekurhuleni, all jumped on board over the next couple of years.
Let's kick things off where it all began, on the beautiful coast in the eThekwini municipality.
As the first of their kind, Durban Metro really set the standard. The city is all about tourism, right? So a huge part of their job is making sure things are safe along that famous beachfront. And that is where their awesome mounted unit comes in. Officers on horseback. It's such an iconic sight, and it's super practical for getting through crowded promenades and sandy beaches.
All right, next we're heading inland to the country's massive economic engine, Johannesburg, to check out the JMPD.
The Johannesburg Metropolitan Police Department, or JMPD. They're one of the most visible forces in the country for sure. In a huge, non-stop city like Joburg, their focus on traffic and bylaws is absolutely essential to stop things from grinding to a halt. They're also famous for their incredible canine dog unit, which helps with everything from crowd control to sniffing out drugs.
Okay, now let's shoot all the way south to the legislative capital, where the city faces a kind of different set of challenges.
The Cape Town Metro Police, the CTMPD, has really evolved to tackle the city's very specific public safety problems. Of course, they handle traffic and bylaws just like the others, but they've also developed a specialized focus on gang and drug operations. They work right alongside SAPS with their very own dedicated gang and drug task team. It's a perfect example of a Metro force tailoring its strategy to what's happening on the ground locally.
And listen, this trend isn't stuck in the past. More recently, other metros have gotten in on the action. Nelson Mandela Bay started its force in 2017, with a big focus on managing the city's buzzing informal trading sector. Mangaung followed in 2019, zeroing in on urban crime prevention. And Buffalo City is in the middle of building out its own department right now.
So, Metro Police are a critical piece of the puzzle, right? But they're not the only piece. Let's take a quick look at how they fit into the bigger law enforcement ecosystem.
This chart shows it all really clearly. Think of it like layers. At the very top, you have the national level with SAPS. Then you've got the provincial level with Provincial Traffic Police.
And finally, you get down to the municipal or city level, and that's exactly where our Metro Police operate. It's a layered system where each level has its own distinct job to do.
And besides SAPs and the metros, you've also got the provincial traffic police. They're the ones you see patrolling the major highways between cities. Smaller towns that don't have a full metro department often have municipal law enforcement officers who handle bylaws on a smaller scale. And more, you see cities teaming up with private security to get some extra boots on the ground where they're needed most.
So if you take just one thing away from this whole explainer, let it be this. Metro Police are not a replacement for SOPs. They are a specialized, complementary force. They are the city's experts, created to manage the unique challenges that only come from a dense, urban environment. Everything from traffic chaos to local city rules.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on, doesn't it? As South Africa's cities just keep getting bigger and facing more complex problems, could this model of hyper-local, city-controlled policing actually be the future for creating safer communities? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks so much for tuning in.